Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am here today to go over the Major League Baseball slate. I know everybody, their brother and their brother's mother and their mother's brother are watching NFL shows and getting prepared for the NFL, and I completely get that. But I'm here to tell you that there is a lot of MLB fish floating around that swam over from the NFL entries. And I think we can nail some of these MLB contests today. So I'm hoping we get a few people in here. We'll determine how many people we get on Sundays, if we need to do a baseball show at all. But it is a great 15-game slate. There's tons of MLB action all over the place. And you can certainly toggle back and forth between MLB and the NFL. So hopefully we'll get some more folks jumping in here. Prince, what's up, man? How's it going? Appreciate you jumping in. JT, good morning, my man. And like I say, it's I know it's everybody's just their brain is completely full with NFL action today. Mine is too. And hopefully you caught our NFL podcast that premiered last night at 8 p.m. If you haven't caught it, even after this baseball podcast, you can catch that a little bit too. Hello, Fear Money Entertainment LLC. What's up, man? I expect we're going to have a pretty small group today in here. I get it. Everybody's prepping for football. But as I was saying early on, I'm telling you right now, I looked through the last 7 years, and the first 3 weeks specifically of the NFL, there was a lot of winnings and a lot of plus side for me personally. I just think there's a lot of extra people that either get into the baseball contest that don't know that much about it, or some of the contests there's some overlay. You can find some contests on Draftkings, Fanduel, and Yahoo where you're going to get a little bit of that overlay. So hopefully you've prepared for your NFL stuff. You have a lot of your lineups already locked in and set, and you can catch this baseball podcast, build out your lineups, go back in, tweak your NFL stuff right before lock. So, all right, I'm not going to go long today because obviously everybody trying to, balance the two sports. But if you're a member at DFS Coach Talk, all of the numbers are up in our Discord. If you want to see MLB ownership, stack ownership, and pitchers as well, and give you some boom bust. All the information is there. I'll mention it a little bit on the podcast today, as we go through these games. As far as the slates go today in MLB, we're going to go over all 15 games. Yahoo has a 15-game main slate. FanDuel has 11 games, and hats off again to DraftKings. They went with a 10-game main slate, and they took the Coors game right out of there, which that's what I would do because it evens the playing field, and this way people just don't smash in all those Coors guys. So I'm going to hit all of those. As far as weather goes, I think we're going to be pretty good shape. We've got Philadelphia at Baltimore, though. That's the Baltimore-Philly game is the game of concern there. Definitely some weather around that area. I think it plays. I'm not going to scrap that game on my list at this time, but that is the one game I'll be watching right up until lock. And I'll be I've got, of course, our two pros, Crash and Steven, handling all of the NFL duties for posting lineups, posting information. So I'll be focusing in on Major League Baseball for our team here. Good morning, Tony A. What's up, man? Great to see you in here with us. A couple real fast questions, and then I'm just going to bust this. I'm going to try to do this in like 30 minutes or so that you can focus on everything that's going on. For those that are in here right now, it's really a lot of our core guys, the Prince, JT, Fear Money, Tony A., etc. Just a quick, wanted a quick heads up on, did you enjoy the NFL podcast last night. If you had a chance to see it, did you like the format? And give me sort of a rating, like from 1 being worst to 10 being best. If you enjoyed that, if there was anything you didn't like, let us know, because we really want to make this Saturday night at 8 p.m. NFL podcast the best in the industry, and we want to get a big viewership there for people to enjoy that and get a heads up on everybody else and building those lineups. So if you can, in chat, I'd really appreciate it if you take a second, give us a rating on that NFL podcast we did last night. And if there are any suggestions from anybody that want maybe something different, or they like what they saw. So I'll keep an eye on chat as we go through, and certainly we can take advantage of that. All right, my friends, let's go. Boy from Cali. All right, final lineups for NFL are ready. Great that you joined us in here too. No problem. I mentioned Boy from Cali. I'm asking this main group here, since it's our core baseball guys, to give us sort of an honest ranking on the NFL podcast from last night that we did at 8 p.m. 10, give us a 10 at the best, 1 at the worst, just to get a feel of, if it was the type of podcast that you'd be listening to weekly, and that you enjoyed, the take by Crash and Steven. Didn't see it. A million sneaky plays on Sunday Night Football. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you have a chance to catch it, and DePrince and Tonier, maybe even after this one, catch a little piece of it. Let me know what you guys think. Yes, there are a bunch of great Sunday night picks too. We'll be sharing some of those in Discord for sure. My little money back for you guys. Agreed on everything. I appreciate that, man. That's Fear Money had a chance to catch it. So thank you for that. All right. Again, we're hitting all 15 games. Good morning, King of Smack. What's up, buddy? And that Philadelphia-Baltimore game's the only weather concern, but I'm not scratching anything at this point. No cores on the Draftkings slate, which I think is super, super sharp. All right, here we go. And I'm not messing around today. It's going to be rocking and rolling. 105, Boston, Baltimore. This is the game of the concern of weather, so we're watching that closely. If any game gets scrapped, it would probably be that one. 74 degrees, right to left wind, 9 miles an hour. 8.5 is the total in Vegas. 4.11 for the Red Sox. 4.39 for the Orioles. Rich Hill, the lefty, 6.7K against Kyle Bradish. 6.9K on the other side of the mound. I am not looking to focus on this game because of weather. Don't particularly like either pitcher. A one-off hitter in either side would be interesting. Baltimore has a pretty cool lineup. McKinnis, Santander, Mountcastle, Urias, Aguilera, Hayes, Mateo, Odor, and Chirino. So a lot of those lefties out of there. And completely different look. No Rutschman today or Gunnar Henderson. So they're going to be playing quite a bit different lineups against a lefty, like, with Rich Hill pitching. And then that means a lot of these guys are going to be pinch hit for at some point, probably in this game. So pretty much of a fade game for me, other than a one-off hitter on either side. All right. Also at 105, Washington Nationals, Philadelphia Phillies. It is 73 degrees, slight breeze blowing out to left at 7 miles an hour. Some chance of rain in Philly too. I mean, Baltimore and Philly are right up that same corridor. I think Baltimore has a bigger chance of rain, but we have to be a little bit concerned here. The pitchers in this game are Anibal Sanchez, who's been getting rocked, and Aaron Nola, who's been good. But if we get any type of weather delays here, that's a concern. Nola's a veteran pitcher. I don't know, if it's a 30-minute delay or whatever, if he comes back out. So, in deciding on that pay up pitcher today, it becomes very difficult if there's any weather that's going to affect this game. So we've got to watch that very closely. Let's dive in real quickly and check a couple of these numbers so that we have a reference point when we start talking about these ownership and all that kind of stuff. So we just mentioned pitchers, so let's go there first. On DraftKings, Nola is number one at 30%. Woodruff for the Brewers, 25. Garcia, 22. Shane Bieber, 21. Singer, 19. And Luzardo, 13. Those are the only double-digit owned projected pitchers on DraftKings. On Fanduel, it's a lot more spread out with Nola at, let's see here, Woodruff at 30%, Nola at 27%, and Singer at 14, and then it goes down from there. On Yahoo, we've got Nola on top at 37, Woodruff at 36. Luis Garcia actually in the latest update jumped to number one and 39%. The other two higher owned are Bieber at 23 and Singer at 22. So a similar grouping as far as pitcher ownership is looking like across the board there. So for me, it's not going to be Nola is my pay up guy, although I really, really think he's in a good spot here. Washington is awful, and Nola can easily be a pay up. I think it's a toss up on which way you can go. If you want to buy up for two pitchers, that's always a possibility. And if you do that, I think Nola should be one of them. And on cash, you've got to consider him as well. It is an 8 over under, only 2.72 for Washington, which is the lowest on the slate, and 5.28 for the Phillies. The Phillies happen to be one of my stacks that I do like, third favorite, but I do like them. Sanchez has been awful, and so you can go up and down here. The lineup is out. Schwarber, Hoskins, Harper, Realmuto, Bohm, Stott, Maton, Marsh, and Verling. So the top of that group is expensive. Schwarber being 5'4", Hoskins 5'1", Harper 5'9", Realmuto 5'6", and Bohm's up to 4'8". So I do want a mini stack there. I have a couple lower priced hitters that I can mix in, but I do want Philly representation there, but I've got to watch the weather. That is key. 135, Tampa Rays, New York Yankees. 75 degrees in New York, no wind to speak of. 8.5's the total. 4.05 for the Rays, 4.45 for the Yankees. Luis Patino, 7K versus Domingo Germán, 8.6K. A lot of the guys back for the Yankees. The lineup is out. Judge, Stanton, Torres, Donaldson, Cabrera, Andujar, IKF, Higgies in the 8-hole, and Gonzalez 9th. So they didn't get LeMahieu back, but with Stanton in there behind Judge, they're 1-2. Certainly can consider them. Luis Patino's not good at all, but 6.5 for Judge. It definitely stings. Stanton finally homered yesterday, I think it was. He's 5.3. And then the middle of that order, though, Torres, Donaldson, Cabrera are pretty cheap. So you can get away with some guys here from the Yankees and not break the bank. On the other side, I think a couple of these lefties are interesting for the Rays. Brandon Lau, Randy Arozarena, not lefty, but he's batting cleanup. Peralta, the lefty, is 5th. Switch hitter Wander Franco, 4.5K in the 2-hole. He's come back swinging. So no pitching ownership for me in that game. Definitely like a few of those hitters. 135, St. Louis Cardinals, Pittsburgh Pirates, 73 degrees in Pittsburgh, a chance of a light shower, but it should clear. It is a total of 8, 4.73 for the Cardinals, and 3.27 for the Pirates. Jose Quintana, ex-Bucco, traded at the deadline. The lefty at 7.3K for the Pirates. Mitch Keller takes the hill for the Buccos at 7.1K. Jose Quintana is my value pitcher today. I like him against his old team. He knows these hitters very well. I think that he's a crafty veteran, a lot of young guys in the Buccos lineup, a lot of guys that can strike out, including Gamble, Castro, Allen, Cruz is hitting 8th today as a lefty against Quintana. So I think Quintana's in a great spot. 7.3 is cheap. He hasn't been phenomenal. I get that, but he did have 33 in his last game against Washington. I expect the same type of situation. 5, 6, 7 strikeouts, somewhere in that neighborhood, with really shutting down Pittsburgh, I think makes perfect sense. And, the whole narrative of him going back to Pittsburgh in this spot, I just think makes perfect sense, and it makes my hitters work. Lets me get some of the Phillies and Yankees and some of these bats and cores in on Fanduel and Yahoo. As far as the Pirates, obviously not going any hitting there. Cardinals certainly can go there. Being that it's a little damp, even though the temperature's not super hot, and Goldschmidt and Arenado are a fortune. I just don't think I'm going to spend up there in that spot. I do like the Cardinals, though, to get after the Buccos here. Keller's not that great. He does have a tendency to get a decent game in now and then. So wouldn't mind a one-off or even two guys for the Cards. And then going with Quintana on that side of it. All right, 140 Mets Marlins, 7.5's the total, 4.04 implied for New York, 3.46 for the Marlins. They're in the Dome in Miami. Taijuan Walker, 7.7K against Jesus Luzardo, 9.2K. Pretty expensive there. I think too expensive. That's why Luzardo is my fade pitcher today. I just think against the Mets, who hit really well, they're scrappy. I just don't like Luzardo being able to step up here. I think, the Mets don't strike out that much, and Luzardo is a strikeout pitcher. And I think he's overpriced for a game against a team like the Mets, and just not that impressed with him. He can flash a decent game here and there, but I really think that he's up against it in this matchup for sure. As far as the other side of the ball, with Taijuan Walker pitching, not going to Walker. He's just too inconsistent for me, but I'm not really looking at the Marlins bats. They're just not good. Joey Wendell batting third is a little interesting at 3.9K. But man, I've tried to put Garrett Cooper in there for a few times because he's so dirt cheap as a cleanup hitter, but he stinks. Brian Anderson's not good. I will say John Birdie is a nice play because he hits Walker. His BVP's good, but he's 5.4K. There's a lot of other places I'd like to go up to money-wise. But if somehow I can find the money, he'd be a sneaky play, low-owned, that could do well and has good BVP in that scenario. All right, let me check real quickly in here in chat. Let's see. Josh is in there. Hey, Josh, what's up, man? Great to see you getting ready for football, but still jumping in baseball. I love that. I love it. Josh, you weren't in here yet, but I asked everybody to give us sort of a rating and a feel for what they thought of the NFL podcast last night. So hopefully we get some of those people coming in here for sure. But not a very big group in here. I didn't expect it. And that's okay. But I'm here for those that want to make that cash on the MLB DFS side. Hopefully, we'll look and determine, on Sundays going forward, if and when we do the MLB podcast. But I think it's a great opportunity to make some money, and people just sort of blow it off because of football. And you can do both. If you prep right and get yourself ready, there's no reason why you can't get both things accomplished. All right, we go to a 2:10 game, the Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Royals. It is a very nice day for baseball in KC. Slight breeze blowing in from left, 10 miles an hour, 71 degrees, 7.5 the total, 3.32 implied for the Tigers, 4.18 for the Royals. Tyler Alexander, the lefty, 5.4K for the Tigers, 8.7K for Brady Singer for the Royals. We're getting some ownership on the stacks tool from this game. So let's go to stacks real quick here and look at the projected situation there, because I think this is a good spot to talk about that. All right, projected ownership on the stack side for DraftKings. You've got Crash's Brewers at 12%, KC 12%. Like I said, this game getting some love. Philadelphia at 10%, the Astros at 10%. Everybody else single digits. So it really stretches out with the Coors game off of the slate there. On FanDuel, where the Coors game is, you're getting 16% for Milwaukee, which is second to Arizona, that's 18%, 12% for the Phillies, 10% for Houston as well. And on Yahoo, it looks like we have 13% for Arizona, 10% for Philly, 9% for Milwaukee. So we've got, again, it's spread out. You don't have to feel like you're playing dead chalk, for any of these lineups, really. I mean, Coors is going to get its attention, and that might go up as the slate gets closer. But again, you're not going to have to just completely sell out here and go that direction. I'm not stacking either side. I do like the Kansas City side better. That lineup's out, and I do like their top six. Melendez, Witt, Perez, Prado, Taylor, Massey. I think you could easily grab two of those guys. I wouldn't have any problem doing that whatsoever. I think Singer is not a bad SP2 play here at all for the way Detroit hits. Not interested in any of the Detroit bats. So wouldn't mind grabbing a little ownership there, and may have a secondary lineup with Singer as my GPP rather than Quintana. 210, LA Angels at Houston Astros. Here's my favorite stack of the day. I love the Astros in this game against Tucker Davidson from Fox News. Now, he's 5.7K against Luis Garcia, 8.1K. Garcia getting a ton of ownership because everybody knows how the Angels can strike out. But it's in that, I just think the Astros ballpark gives up a lot of homers. And with Trout and Ohtani both going gangbusters here, I'm not going to go Garcia. I don't think he's a bad play by any stretch. The Angels only have a 3.05 implied, where the Astros are 5. I really like the Astros in this game, though. I think they're going to put up a pretty good crooked number on these guys. And I'll have a lot of exposure to the Astros being my number one stack. Not going to spend up for the big bucks on Trout and Ohtani. Not that it's ever wrong to play those guys. I think Trout's ended his home run streak at 5 games in a row. So, not like the guy's not hot for sure. All right, 210 also, we have the Guardians at the Twins. And here's my pay up pitcher. I'm going to go with Shane Bieber. I'm going to take him slightly over Nola and Garcia and some of these guys. The weather's supposed to be very comfortable in Minnesota, only in the upper 60s, no wind to speak of. So it's a cooler temperature. He's going against a Minnesota team. Like I say, we say it every day, but it's the truth. You can look at the day that Buxton went out of the lineup for the rest of the season. They have just tank city, and I just don't like their lineup. I think that there's enough strikeouts in there for Bieber. He's been going deep. He had a really unlucky start here a couple starts ago, but I think it's a perfect spot for him. It's 4.16 implied for the Guardians, 3.34 for the Twins, only that 7.5 number. And I think Bieber's the play here. 10-3 is not cheap. I get it. But I think in that real close race for number one, he's the guy that wins it for me. And I think he comes out of this game with a pretty good number. Hitters wise, obviously no Twins for me. You can get, you could pull out a couple of Guardians here. I'm not a big Winder fan, but I don't think he's the worst pitcher on the slate. It is expensive in the middle of that lineup, especially if you're going like Juan Rosario Ramirez at the top. But you can get some really cheap 4, 5, 6 guys, Naylor, Gonzalez, Jimenez, Miller, those kind of guys that can pop one out of the ballpark. So a couple one-offs there. 210, we have the Reds Brewers. If Crash is still in here, he's going to be watching Packers and Brewers going bonkers today. We have the lowest, a very low total, the second lowest implied total on the slate. The Nationals have the lowest. The second lowest is the Reds against Brandon Woodruff. I know Woodruff's going to be very popular, as we said when we went over the pitching ownership. He's 9.6. So if you want to save the money at 700 that you can save if you go to Woodruff over Bieber, he's just not my favorite choice, just because the top of that young Reds lineup's been hitting a little bit. We've made him famous now, the law firm of Friedel, Farmer, and Fraley, and then India's been popping it. Solano can hit. So I just think Woodruff's a good play today. He's just not going to make the cut as my top pay up. The Reds, they strike out some, but not tops in the league. And Woodruff has not been as sharp as he normally is. It's that simple. Can he throw a great game here? No question about it. How deep will they go with him? We'll see. I mean, he certainly doesn't have a huge leash, and I'm sure that Crash probably likes him today, but I am not going to go that direction. The Brewers stack is getting a lot of love. I'm interested in some of the guys. I'm not a Justin Dunn guy at all, so I think you could get a couple of these lefties and feel really good about it. Maybe Yelich at the top at 4.8. He'd probably be my favorite Brewer today, and I have not played him in like a month and a half. The problem with the stack, though, with Adames, Tellez, and Renfroe is they're expensive. They're all homer possibilities. I get that. I'd almost rather go to the second flight of those guys after Yelich, and the 5, 6, 7 guys of Wong, McCutchen, and Peterson. Those three interest me. So grabbing one or two Brewers, I think, is a great idea. It won't be a full stack for me, though. 235, Toronto Blue Jays, Texas Rangers. It is probably roof open in Texas, and they'll be scoring a few more runs there. 8.5's the implied. 4.37 for the Blue Jays, 4.13 implied for the Rangers. Trevor Richards against Martin Perez, the lefty. Richards is a 4K, and Martin Perez as 8.3. Where can you go with this game? There's definitely hitting on both sides here. For some reason, the stacks are not highly owned on either one of these teams, which was sort of surprising because I don't particularly think Richards is very good in that, or their bullpen, really. And Martin Perez was pitching well, but has definitely slacked off. Very expensive hitters for Toronto. I'd love to be able to grab one or two. I just don't know if I can fit them price-wise. Springer, Guerrero, Kirk, and Bichette are 5.1 to 5.7. So that's a tough nut to bite, chew right there, because you got to spend some very big salary there. And unless you're going to buy down with both pitchers, it's going to be hard to stack all these teams that are in such a good spot. For Texas, you can grab a Nathaniel Lowe, maybe at 4.2, or Garcia's under 5K now. Certainly some guys in the middle of that lineup that you can take a look at. If you want to spend up, obviously Simeon and Seager are the place to go. All right, quick check of, let's see, Josh is chatting in there. Super Sunday vibes. I love that from King of All Trades. We have double digits people in here. That's better than I thought. I thought it was going to be me doing a solo discussion with myself about baseball. So I'm glad we did have some people in there for sure. Josh likes Yelich, Tellez, and Renfroe for the Brewers. Oh, what a surprise. All right, back to it here. We've got the Coors game. Again, it's not on DK. It is on Fanduel and Yahoo. Certainly going to need some attention there. 72 degrees, though. Perfect day, no wind, and it is Coors, so you got to consider it. Vegas has it as the top total at 10.5, 5.89 implied for the D-backs, And for the Rockies, it is 4.61. Zach Gallen, who I respect, is pitching for the D-backs. Ryan Feltner, who I don't, is for Colorado. So for me in this game, even though it's a Coors game, I'm going to pretty much fade the Rockies and go with some Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are my second favorite stack on Fanduel and Yahoo, along with the Astros and the Phillies. But I like a lot of guys in this Diamondbacks lineup, from Marte to McCarthy, Walker, Varsho, Corbin Carroll for sure back in there, and even Carson Kelly catching. So I like the middle of that order. I'll definitely have some D-backs where I can have them per site. 407 White Sox A's, 7.5 total, 74 degrees. Comfortable day in Oakland. 4.16 implied for the White Sox, 334 for the A's. Johnny Cueto 7-7, Cole Irvin 7-1. Not my favorite game on the chart for sure. I don't respect the Oakland bats. Not crazy about either pitcher though. And a couple of White Sox righties maybe. Boy, Elvis Andrus has been absolutely out of his mind since they picked him up. He's only 2.9K, but regression monster's got to be on his heels. I just don't think I'm going to go there. I hate to say it. But you can get the middle of this order very cheap. Moncada, Abreu, Jimenez, Pollock, and Vaughn. All 4K or under, except Jimenez 4.3. And Robert is probably batting 7th. So wouldn't mind having a couple of White Sox on one of my lineups. I think they'll hit a little bit, but this is pretty much going to be a stay away game for me. This game is interesting at 410, Dodgers and Padres. A lot of drama in this game. 82 degrees, wind blowing out to right at 10 miles an hour. Totals 8, 4.20 for the Dodgers. Padres implied 3.80. Andrew Heaney, who I hate with every fiber of my being for blowing up the potential of massive takedowns for me the last time he pitched. Still cashed that day, but he just crushed my spirit, so he is dead to me. Will not please. Not that in DFS you're supposed to remember the past. Everybody has a score of 0 right now, but I still hate Andrew Heaney, so take that to the bank. Joe Musgrove, Junk Ball Joe, not my favorite either. These are two guys that they could swim out into the Pacific, into that typhoon that was out there, and it would not bother me at all. But I'm not bitter about it, trust me. So needless to say, I like hitting in this game. I don't like the pitching. The problem that you have is salary. If somebody could call DraftKings, Fanduel, and Yahoo and give me like a $2,000 salary loan that I could spend some extra money. Crash, can you get on that for me? Because I need the extra money for this game, and I don't know how much I'm going to have it. But Betts, Turner, Freeman, by the way, Freeman I talked about yesterday. He's a sick puppy, man. He's awesome. But all those guys, Smith, all of them, they're all expensive. I want to try to have at least 2 Dodgers. Max Muncy's my target at 4.8. He is my BVP play against Junk Ball Joe Musgrove. How about this number for Muncy? 8 for 17, 4 extra base hits. He's homered off of him. A 14-14 OPS, 824 slugging, 591 OBP, and a 471 average. So Muncy is the man of the day for me in that game. And hopefully I can find the salary to grab an extra Dodger. And on the Padres side, I don't think they're out of bounds trying to get them. Machado is a little much at 5.6. I think Bell's overpriced at 4.7. But you've got a cheap Will Myers who homered the other day at 3.1. Cronenworth at 4K. So there's some guys there. You know, you certainly wouldn't mind having some hitting in that game, but nothing that I'm going to be ecstatic about. All right. The Atlanta Braves, Seattle Mariners, 4.10. 8.5's the total. 4.43 implied for the Braves. 4.07 for the Mariners. Odorizzi, 6.8K against Marco Gonzalez, the lefty, 6.2K. And in this game, my home run call of the day is Mr. Matt Olson. It's a pretty easy one when you look at the BVP in this game. Olson has just beaten Marco Gonzalez to death here. How about 11 for 39 with 6 homers in 39 at-bats against the dude? A 1061 OPS, 744 slugging, 317 OBP, a respectful 282 average, and again, a lot of pop against him. So I like Olson in the middle of this lineup for sure in this game. I think, grabbing an extra Brave is a great idea. If you can afford an Acuna, Swanson, or Riley, that's definitely where I'd go. If you have to go down a slot salary-wise, I think Contreras, Grissom, and Harris are great plays as well. So I will have some Atlanta exposure. On the Seattle side, I'm not as sold. The guys that I think are decent, like the Rodriguez and Suarez and Hanigers, are just too expensive. A lot of expensive salaries here that make it very tough. So more than likely, even though I think the Mariners can scratch out a few runs here, I don't think I'm going to get there. Then the evening game tonight at 8:08 is the San Francisco Giants and Chicago Cubs. I know we're all going to be watching the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? They're going to be playing at the same time as this game. Sorry, I had to throw it in there. And I know a lot of people hate the Cowboys, so I apologize in advance, but I'm a fan. What can I say? Giants Cubs, it's a 9 total, 65 degrees in Chicago. Fall has arrived. Wind blowing out, though, to right. John Brebbia, 6K for the Giants. Wade Miley, the lefty, I'm not sure what these guys are going to be priced, though, because the pricing's different on DraftKings for the last slate. The only reason I'm putting this in here is it's included on the Yahoo slate for the 15 game all day. I don't like this game very much. I think there's a chance of a little bit of rain, and it's a little chillier. I'm not crazy about either pitcher, but neither team is hitting. So I think, just have your points set up. If you have a one-off, maybe a Wilmer Flores on the Giants side, maybe a Suzuki or a Happ on the Cubs side. All right, my friends, I told you I was going to get through this at warp speed. I'm at 37 minutes for a 15-game slate, and I am out of breath. What's the weather look like in Philly? That's the problem right now. That particular game, I'll tell you what, I'm going to call this up right now, and I'm going to do a live weather. I always wanted to be a weatherman. So this is Coach reporting for the weather today in Philadelphia. We're going to scan this game and see if we're going to play baseball. So let me see what I got here. This is live on the air. We're going to determine, because this game is an important game to figure. All right, I'm looking at the radar right now in Philadelphia as we speak. We don't have that long till we have first pitch. Right now it's raining cats and dogs at 1 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, cats and dogs, at 3 o'clock, double cats and dogs. Okay, I'm going to call it right now. I am going to not play this game. I mean, the radar, there's 0 breaks in this radar that I can see of any rain. I'm going to rewatch it because this is a big call, because I know people want to play NOLA. They want to stack the Phillies, including me. I want to stack the Phillies. I see rain for 3-4 hours straight. I do not see the rain stopping until 5:30 or 6 tonight. So if you want to take a chance that they don't postpone this game and they play it at start, I don't see a first pitch in this game till 6 p.m. if they play it at all. So I am going to fade it. I had faded NOLA anyway, so it's not as dramatic for me, but Philly was my third favorite stack. So here we are live on the podcast. I am going to scratch the Philadelphia-Baltimore game. Let me see. Let's double check really quick here. Philadelphia game is definitely off of the board for me. Let's see if they change. It's Philadelphia versus Washington. So I don't mean to be confusing people. I am not going to play Philadelphia versus Washington. The other game I'm going to look live here This is Coach reporting for your weather, MLB weather today. I'm going to look up Baltimore because that was the other game I had listed as the two games that I was concerned about. And let's get a quick take on this Baltimore radar. I don't think it's going to be as bad. Okay, there's some rain there now, clearing out, full go, no worries. Okay, Baltimore's a go, no worries there. Philadelphia's a scratch. That's the official word here for our team at DFS Coach Talk. All right, I'm going to get into, I'll review my picks, get PrizePicks and Boom in here, and I'll let you go do your football. All right, DFSCoachTalk.com. Come join us. We want members. We want you with us. We want you to join the family. I got my DK hat on, lucky hat for our Millie Maker takedowns. I'm going to do two $5 tickets right now for the Millie Maker that starts in an hour and 20 minutes. If you don't send me your on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk, if you don't send me your PayPal email, I can't send you the money for the free ticket. So I'm going to do a drawing real quick. Here we are. First $5 ticket goes to Scott Harris. Hello, Mr. Harris. You are a winner. I don't really recognize Scott. Maybe he's new to the group. So fantastic to have you in here. And the second winner is JT. JT and the Sunshine Band. JT is in. So we got two winners. Go to at DFS Coach Talk on Twitter. JT and our new gentleman here. Who did I? Scott Harris. Send me that info right now, and I'll get to that ticket as soon as I hang up on this podcast. So congratulations to those two freebies. Try Boom Fantasy. You'll love it. If you're watching this live on Twitter, it's in our bio right there. Click on that link. Same thing for YouTube and TikTok. You can find those right there. All right. Again, Boom Fantasy too. You can win up to 40x. So go after it. Check it out. Also, come join us at Coach Talk. We want to grow this family. We need to get some of the goods out there. If you're looking for some Coach Talk swag, go to squadlocker.com, SQUADLOCKER, and just type in DFS Coach Talk. We have the best swag out there. JT doesn't use Twitter. Okay, then send me an email. It is you can go directly right and I'll pick it up. Go to dfscoachtalk@gmail.com. And I will, let's see, I can Cash App it to you if you want me to send an email with your Cash App name, or whichever way you want me to get it to you. If you have a particular way, I'll find a way to get it to you. Okay. All right. My PrizePicks plays of the day. I like Quintana over 28.5 fantasy score. Again, he goes against that young Buccos lineup that doesn't hit lefties well. He knows that team very well. And I think I've got him at 32. So I think he busts over that number. And I'm going back to my man Alvarez. I have not taken Jordan Alvarez in a while because he's been slumped. I think he really busts out today. I got him going deep. He was almost my HR call, but I could not surpass the 6 home runs that Olsen has hit against whoever he's going against. Who is it? Gonzalez. I can't remember who it is. Who's Olsen going against? Somebody remind me. Although he's got 6 homers against him. I'm going to look because it will bug me. Marco Gonzalez. Yep. All right. On Boom Fantasy, who we love, they are the presenting sponsor of this podcast. I like Cabrian Hayes under a half an RBI. So it's again from that game. I think Quintana holds him down. An RBI is a big thing. Maybe he gets a hit or walks or even a steal, but I don't think he knocks anything in. And I'm going to go with Stephen Kwan over a half a hit. The guy's a hit machine. You know, he can get infield singles. He gets all kinds of different stuff. So I think that Kwan over a half a hit is a really good play. Thanks, Bankroll Theory. Great to have you in here. I understand everybody's scrapping and scratching to get their football stuff in. if you join us Saturday nights at 8 p.m., you can get a big jump start on those NFL lineups. We're going to do that podcast every Saturday night with Crash and Steven and myself. And then you can have maybe a little bit of extra time to join us here on Sundays for baseball. I'm telling you, circle around today and the next 2 weeks, especially those first 3 weeks when the NFL's going on. Baseball overlay happens, and baseball, the fish swim over for football. You got to get it. I agree with you, Fear, Money, and Entertainment. I think Yelich is a good home run possibility today. All right, quick recap. Bieber's my pay up, and Quintana's my value. Luzardo's my fade. Muncie's my BVP. Olsen is my HR call. I'm stacking the Astros, and I also like the Diamondbacks. I want some exposure to the Dodgers and Padres game. Not playing the Philadelphia game, Washington, Philly. I feel it's going to rain out, so I'm not playing that game. Everything else is a go. Take advantage of Draftkings where there's no Coors Field game. You can get some better plays in those lineups. Quintana and Alvarez are my plays on PrizePicks. Quintana and Alvarez both over their numbers. Hayes under on Boom and Quan over on Boom. All right, my friends, I think that's everything. Thank you so much just to carve out this time for me for baseball on the opening day of football. Let's crush all of them. I mean, let's get some winners. Let's post some things in here and just get it done. I think that it's going to be a very, very fun day, and let's make it a profitable one. All right, appreciate it. Enjoy all the sports today. We're going to be with you all day. We're supplying NASCAR lineups. We've got our football lineups that are going up shortly from Crash and Steven. I'll have baseball lineups up there. And then certainly Crash and I will be back tomorrow for the MLB podcast. On Tuesday, it'll be Deb and I. And then Thursday night at 6:50 for the NFL with Crash and Steven and myself for that Thursday night game. All right. Appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. And we'll be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB, DFS, and Boom Fantasy.